feels like, and obviously you'll know better than me, it feels like on my first read, there was almost a bit of a recalibration in terms of how we approach the teaching of writing. So, I mean, I may unfairly categorize it as being genre driven in the past. Certainly, the world I came into. What are the big implications for teachers, leaders, and schools? And does it start with that simple view of writing, which we can then, like you said, tie to the simple view of reading? What are the big implications?
I think the biggest implication is about reception. We've got to get writing right there, and this idea, like that writing and play are kind of pulling against each other. Absolutely not. Writing is playful, writing is social, writing is communication, and we've got to ensure that really early doors. And we know that if we're not careful, if we let children opt out, and you know, that is an Ofsted word, they are worried about the opt-out. If we see children like, oh yeah, I'm on the trikes, miss, they're on the trikes, they love the trikes. If we let them choose all the time, then we're going to miss so many opportunities to let them, welcome them into the language community and show them writing is joyous and playful. And we've got so much to do in reception. We've got so much to do, and I would say that is probably going to be the kind of the biggest seismic shift. We need to get them excited for writing. We need to introduce them very early doors on how to hold a pencil, how to hold, any instrument that is small enough for their fingers, pen, skinny felt. We need them writing on paper, not whiteboards actually, not fat felt and a whiteboard that's skiddy and then losing control. They need that sort of tension, that tactileness of writing. And we know all of the research about engagement. Your podcast, we want deep thinking. That's where it begins, that connection between handwriting and thinking. And they need help with that. That needs to be explicitly taught. And, we want them to talk excitedly, but we want to catch some of that talk as well. And when they're ready, help them capture their ideas down. And that needs to be really smooth and efficient. There is no point children holding a pencil halfway up and doing B and D reversal for the whole year of reception. It's just so hard to undo. So we've got to start that right. I want us to be quite deliberate and forensic around that, that we can, rather than go, oh my goodness, these kids' handwriting's terrible, that actually we can say, there are 12 children in this class who've got the letter A down, wicked. We and that guidance in the back of the framework that says, here are the handwriting formation groups, that we've got knowledge on that, so that we've got our little handwriting patterns, and we know that when then we hit to do shared writing and modelled writing, and we're driving to a sentence in reception, really simple sentences that could be as simple as Jack climbed, Goldilocks slept. As simple as that, we can zoom in and show them how to do certain letters, and Mrs. Gibbs involved in that, and we've got more forensic captures of what they can and can't do in terms of handwriting. Absolutely. Lutley Primary School that is part of Hales Valley Trust. Their work in early years is phenomenal, and we have got some really good places to send people to, unlock good practice. That's in Hales Owen, by the way. Not got just hang around schools in around Birmingham and the West Midlands because they can understand my accent, but there you go. Rob Bab, all of that jazz. But essentially, this there is so much to do, but it's not stuff we don't know. But we've got to be careful that, that kind of mode of, yeah, I know this, I do this. But are we doing it to the best of our ability? Is it really manageable? And are we being very forensic about it? The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. That sentence will mean that we could get children, only when they're ready, kind of to copy it and be quite forensic about actually what can they do and not do. And that's that responsive teaching feedback loop back into my modelling. And that we can then see the successes much quicker. And that actually they get involved in things like dictation in reception. So they have a go, we've got some, really important common words we've got to get down, your high frequency words. We've got to get these sorted quickly, urgently. I can give you word ideas, sentence ideas, and we can practice the feel of writing so that you're not cognitively overloaded trying to think about the content, and then you can feel like a writer, and we can accelerate that really, really quickly. The impact of the framework opens up the whole curriculum for children. We know this is not just going to be about English, and the framework tells us that doing this well and right and urgently will mean the impact is high across the whole curriculum. We want their personal writing identity. We want them to be positive and excited, and everything we do with writing needs to feel like that. And we've got to be really aware that if they get overloaded, if it feels too negative, then we're losing them, and I love the references to motivation and what is motivation about. They find successes themselves personally. Personal success in crafting as a writer is what's going to internally motivate them and keep them going and build their self-esteem as a writer. Sorry, Kieran, if we get a bit passionate. I think I've spat all over the mic here.
Never apologise for being passionate about education. No, not at all, not in the slightest.